What's up, guys? So, welcome to Soul Talk, and the topic today is Are white people superior to other races? So, you see, I remember when I was 15 years old, and I was watching a movie. I was watching a foreign movie that day. So I watched the movie, and then I went to go tell my people, like we were in the parlor just relaxing. Then I told my people that I would love to marry a white woman, you know. I told them I would love to marry a white woman. And they're like, but what about a black woman? I'm like, no, I don't want black woman. I want white woman. And when they ask me why, I'm like, I just think white woman will be better for me than a black woman, you know? So, and that time, there was no opportunity that I would ever travel. There was no opportunity for me. I've never been in contact with a white woman, but I just had the assumption that the white woman was just way, way better. Okay, so in referring to this question, are white people superior? Even when I ask people this question, I often get two reactions from people, two kinds of answers. Some people say yes, white people are superior, and when you ask them, they can tell you that see, everything white or everything of the Europeans are better than everything black that we Nigerians own. And then it goes from their country is better than ours, their money is better than ours, their society is more organized, better than ours. Every aspect of their life, most people in our country assume is better. So it's not surprising why people want to break their necks to go to foreign countries, you know. And then when you now ask them, when you now ask them that, so you think they're better than us because of all this, and they say, see, if everything that the Europeans own is better than ours, then they are better than us. So that's all what it always comes down to. If everything they own is better than us, then they are better than ours. So another group of people I ask the same question. I'm like, oh, do you think white people are superior to us? Some people are like, no. And I'm like, okay, can you give me any example why white people are not superior to us? Some of them, what some of them say is, white people are not superior to us because they are human beings like us. Okay? They have it better. They have created a system that works for them. They have created a good country. They had ensured that they fool the world to believe that everything white is right and everything that is not white is wrong, but it does not make them better than us. So, and when I play this idea over in my head, so it becomes interesting. And when I look at the people who believe white people are better than us, they seem to have a lot of points to that. Like when they say their country is better, it means okay, the people that the white people there, they structure their country in a way that is very effective. Their money is better, which means they understand economics better than we do, and so they make sure they keep the value of their money very high. Their women are better, which those people believe too, which means that their women probably know something or do something that make them better alternative than a black woman. Okay, so, but from my perspective, so I think the whole reason why you're watching this show is to know my perspective. My perspective is, from what I see, I don't believe white people are superior to any other races. I believe that they are the same as every other race. It's just the conditions favor them. You see, I remember one time I was talking to some girl in the street, and she told me that after God created the world, God gave power to white people to rule the world. And I asked her, okay, do you read this in the Bible or where did this come from? She was like, no, she didn't read it in the Bible. I'm like, okay, so where did it come from? So she just said that she knows. And I'm like, how do you know? He said that I should take a look at the world. That's what she said. He said that they control everything in this world. They control everything. Even what's even interesting is she said that even God Himself is white. And so when she said that, I'm like, I wanted to argue with her, but it was not an intelligent thing to argue with her at that moment because the picture of Jesus Christ that we see is white, and so making Jesus black, is not popular. Him white is what the world believes. Jesus is white, and so if Jesus is white and is the Son of God, then God is white. you're not gonna, your dad is not gonna be white and then you're gonna be black. And if you know, and since Mary is white, Jesus is white, then it only makes sense for the father to be white too. Okay, so and when I looked at this whole thing, when I looked at this whole discussion I had with her, I tried to see what is I tried to see if I could change her mind, but I couldn't. She was firm on it that this is what it is. Then I talked to another person, and the person told me that, oh, white people are just superior. And I'm like, oh, why? He said, I see, unlike black people, white people don't make mistakes. And I'm like, what do you mean white people don't make mistakes? He said that they don't make mistakes, that he has checked it out that they don't make mistakes. So, and I asked him, what does he feel about black people? She said that, oh, that black people, their own problem is they are too greedy, they hate each other, they are always killing people, that they're always stabbing people, they always have to follow the white man's direction, that they need someone to guide them, if not they'll fall into a hole they dug themselves, and all the negative things he had, only negative things he had to say about black people. And he's black, it's not like he's some white person that was making these comments, he's black. So, but what I'm trying to say in this video is, like I said, white people are not superior to anybody. White people, what they have done is, their forefathers during the era of colonization have gone around the world destroying other countries. That's what colonialism brought about. It's about countries in the West extending their power from where they are to other third world countries and making sure that they control the economics of those countries, control their natural resources, thereby enriching themselves at the expense of the third world countries. So if you look at it, if you look at the IMF, look at the World Bank, and look at the relationship between first world countries and third world countries, you will understand that white people enjoy the fruits of the labor, while the rain and the bad consequences rains down on the third world countries. That's what happens. Third world countries, a lot of them have resources to feed themselves. They have the natural resources to feed themselves. But because of the policies or the way the policies that are often adopted by IMF, UN, and other international bodies, they make sure that those countries' growth are stifled. And economic relationship between them and first world countries always favor first world countries. And so that is why first world countries are better than third world countries. And if you look at the money of first world countries, they have more purchasing power than third world countries. Third world countries, their money don't have value. Not it doesn't have value, but it has low value. And if you also look, first world countries are richer than third world countries, because in third world countries, their markets are open to people from the first world countries to come and invest and take away the profits. While first world countries don't open their market for people from third world countries to invest in or own properties, they don't do that. So these are some of the ways. This is just one of the ways which white people create the idea that they are superior. You see, this idea of superiority, what is interesting about it is the system is created in a way where white people don't even have to convince you that they are superior. They don't. They do it in a subtle way. White people are in charge of major organizations in the world. And even if they are not in charge of, like, maybe the Nigerian Federation or something, they have rules and regulations that the federations in your third world countries must play by. The people in first world countries outline the rules that they might play by. It can be something as simple as playing football in the World Cup. The white people determine the rules of the game, what is allowed, what is not allowed. They determine it, and because of they determine it, they will ensure that certain aspect of it favors them and not you. Okay, so that's another area where they try to ensure that they always stay at top. If you look at international organizations in the world, you will see that white people are at the top. It's rare for you to see anybody that is non-white at the top of those organizations. So that's another way they try to create that sense of superiority. You see, the era of colonialism brought something that is subtle that still affects us today. If you look at a country like Nigeria, the era of colonialism brought this belief that whatever is black or whatever we own is worthless compared to what the white people own. You see, that's why in our country we spend a lot of money trying to buy overpriced Western products than buy locally made products. Locally made products are seen as cheap, worthless, unimportant. But when it comes to products from Britain, from UK, from Italy, we will break our necks to get it. Take it for example. If you look at our celebrities in Nigeria, people like Davido, Olamide, Wizkid, Tiwa Savage, if you all you have to do is go and look at their Instagram page, and you see that when they become big stars, they don't wear locally made clothes. They wear they wear international designs. They wear all these Italian designs, Fendi, all these high brand designs that come from first world countries. They wear them. They spend a lot of money buying Gucci, whatever, all these designers, and to most part, what happens is that they even start acting white. They act white in several ways. They act white like how African Americans do. They spend money excessively, always brag about what they have, and even claim that they have what they don't even have. You see, so it's like in a way they're trying to make sure that they get rid of the fact that they are Africans, but try to adapt to become American to become as African American as close as they can be. You see, when the goal of colonialism was to put white people at the top and put every other race at the bottom. That's the goal of colonialism. It was to thief whatever you have and put white people at the bottom. I was listening to, I checked, because if you look at the practice of colonialism where where our people were being sold, and villages, our cultures were destroyed, families were broken apart. That's what colonialism caused. At the beginning of this colonialism, what the real goal was to enrich the first world countries at the detriment of third world countries. So, like I said, what I'm saying is this: white people are not superior to black people. Some people who have the wrong impression, like some white people who consider racist, have the wrong impression that, oh, black people are inferior. After all, see, they cannot advance in our world. And if you look at it, if you go to first world countries, you see that black people cannot rise to the top. Yes, there are some people that rise, which is basketballers and footballers. But if you are talking about people rising, becoming owners of companies, not being a footballer or entertainer, becoming owners of companies, realize that at the companies you get to, people that are at the top there, they are white people. They are not black people, they are white people. Okay? So these are some of the areas where white people try to ensure their superiority. They make sure that they let you know that they are superior. They don't say it, but their practices make you know that they are superior to you. Okay? Another example you can look at is the mass media. Look at our mass media. We love everything, we love everything American, everything white. The movies, we enjoy it. When we watch a white movie, it seems like this is the most desirable thing we can do. Watching a white movie, trying to speak like them, trying to act like them is desirable. It's even, it's to us, it's beautiful, because we feel the white people, this is their current with their current, and so we feel that us imitating them makes us cool, makes us more desirable. So the things that are African, we throw it along the way. It's like the thing that African movies or African magic that shows African movies. Even I hate it because I feel it just it's just boring and drudgery, and there is nothing new. It's just the same story they recycle over and over again. Look at Nollywood movies. How many of them can you even say these are wonderful movies? So it seems like everything African, there's this impression that has been created, even in our minds from a very, very young age, that everything African is is evil, is evil, is disgusting, is low, is cheap, is backward, is destructive. So is so, and if you don't believe that, there's a way you can check it out for yourself.